Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. As decentralized finance matures, the lines between traditional banking and Web3 are starting to blur. One platform is leading into that overlap, offering under-collateralized lending, AI-driven KYC, and global financial access through a self-custodial model. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Agne Linge, Head of Growth at WeFi. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you very much for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here.
As I said to you off air, I feel severely underdressed, but it is what it is. You've got that beautiful background. You look smart casual. You look to do, if you're doing billion-dollar deals, but that's just how it is. Go and listen on Spotify. Don't go and check us out on YouTube. Don't do that. Just don't do that. I'm looking for your resume, and it's quite impressive. You've been in crypto for more than 8 years. You had stints at Binance, Dgate, Yellow. You've basically been there, done that, did everything. So what made you take the leap into DeFi native banking, like with a company like WeFi?
Yes, well, thank you for the introduction. And yes, indeed, I have been in the industry for over 8 years. In fact, I started when there was no DeFi back then. So it was only Bitcoin, and Ethereum was only starting with its ICO. And then many more ICOs have started. Probably you remember those times. Many of those projects did not materialize, probably most of them. But everyone was trying to put everything on blockchain. I remember like these cases and how it all ended. But the crypto ecosystem is very exciting. There is a lot of innovation and adoption of new technologies to build new financial products. For instance, layer 2s are interesting as a scaling solution. Roll-ups is interesting. And zero knowledge technology, which is mathematics, is also interesting. So all of these are very forward-looking let's say, technological developments, but they lack real use cases. So many times the projects did not have the real world use case. And, you know, these DeFi platforms, they're great in terms of innovation and what is happening, but then it's really a very limited ecosystem that is using that. So I knew that blockchain technology and integration of AI and DeFi is very powerful, and this will definitely change our lives, especially in financial services. So when I was invited to join WeFi, I was super excited because the team understands blockchain crypto very well. They're not newbies, and they want to build the future of banking. So I always looked at this industry from a serious point of view. I know that there are lots of, let's say, casino type of things going on, and crypto is very colorful ecosystem. But at WeFi, we're really building the future financial rails, and this is why I'm very excited to be part of the team.
Interesting that you said they hired you and you didn't apply. So they actually went and headhunted you. Is that right?
Yes, actually, most of my jobs were via headhunters.
I love that. It means that you know what you're doing, and your name precedes you, right? So what you put on paper and what you put into the real world precedes you. Therefore, you don't have to sell yourself. You are already sold. I love that. All right. So you've called WeFi a DEO Bank, and I wasn't familiar with that phrase. I think everyone knows by now what a neobank is, a challenger bank to traditional banks. But what exactly is a DEO Bank?
Yes. WeFi, we created this new term because we believe that it reflects better than only the services of a neobank. But you say that people know what is neobank. A lot of people don't know. I have to repeat my a few times.
I know. Okay, true.
Yeah. So more like when you see digital bank, then it's like, oh, okay, it's bank, but it has digital and things. So of course, DEO Bank is totally new term. It stands for Decentralized On-Chain Bank. So unlike existing neobanks, DEO Banks is like a new category of financial services that provides full control to the users over their deposited funds through non-custodial wallets. So in the current pretty unstable regulatory environment and the account freezing and withdrawal limitations, they're becoming increasingly the norm. Also, not only banks, in centralized exchanges as well. So we believe that it's going to become more important for people to understand that they have access, full access to their funds and full custody of their wallets. So this is what we are committed to cater to people who would like to participate but cannot participate in global financial systems. So this DEO Bank is combining blockchain and AI technologies and really trying to build the future of banking, something that is super forward-looking.
Okay, let's get under the hood of WeFi. Most DeFi lending still requires over-collateralization, as I mentioned in the call open. But you're going the other way. So how are you managing trust and risk with under-collateralized loans?
Yes, I would say here the main point that we want to say is that we started WeFi from the community perspective. So many projects are building a product first, and then they're looking for community. And we did it vice versa. So we already have a very strong community, and we have retail investors who already have put funds in. And so when we're going to be launching the loans, all of the ecosystem participants are already chipped in. So this is how more or less how it's going to work. And WeFi secret sauce will be the future yield and ecosystem reports. Maybe a good example would be Pendle. Pendle project when you can tokenize the yield, which can be used as a collateral. Yeah, that's what it is.
Interesting. All right. So AI-powered KYC, right? Does that make the KYC process easier? Does it make it cheaper? What exactly does that do?
Well, frankly, me as a user, and I'm sure you have, and you shook your hand many times in the circle to do the KYC. It's still cumbersome, and there's still a lot of errors. I have experienced myself that some of the documents do not go through because of the human error or something. So we definitely want to utilize AI and KYC, and right now we're in R&D stage of this, and this will be activated later on. But we believe that compliance and privacy can go together. Most important in this new KYC model that is based on AI will be behavior. So a user's behavior online, because nowadays it's very easy to forge identity, but to forge fraudulent behavior, it's a bit different. So this is what we're trying to build. Yes.
Can you expand on that? How would that work? What would that look at? What's the process being followed there?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how behavioral on-chain analysis works, but overall in your internet. But I know that if you track your behavior on blockchain, you have like digit scores, etc. So it is possible to determine your behavior and whether you would be able to repay the loans or keep your obligations by seeing what you do online. So as I mentioned, for our KYC for retail users, we're still in the R&D stage of the tool, but we're seeing interesting results, and already AI is much better tool for KYC, I think, because of the human error that is possible.
Is it sort of building up a credit rating, I guess, if I can put it like that? Because if I don't have any, how can I put this, data in blockchain, or I don't have any history, then I need to build up something to prove, hey, this is me and this is how I transact.
Yes, actually, I've been also following this identity topic closely, and I'm sure you also have heard a lot of things. And it looks like it will be more or less the norm, even in the governmental level. Like, look what we heard in China. I think that according to your score, you get access or not access to the country, or some insurance services. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I think it makes a valid point actually to collect your data points, what you have done, and then based on that build. But this is very dangerous as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned people in hyperinflationary economies and giving them sort of the banking tools that they can't get. Is that something that you guys are actively targeting? So, meaning, are there countries that WeFi are specifically targeting?
Mm-hmm. So we're targeting the countries of our communities,
Mm,
but you mentioned about hyperinflation in the country. So there are economies which have hyperinflationary currency or experiencing some sort of instability in the currency, so instability in banking and
mm,
in the economy. So what does it mean for people? Their money loses value, and usually, most often, the salaries do not increase at the same pace as inflation. Therefore, this leaves people much worse off, and they're suffering from something that they cannot control. This is completely out of your control. One day you were able to afford something, another day you can't afford. So people tend to either spend everything faster, or they want to hoard in the currency that would help them to protect their wealth, right? So stable coins, etc.
mm.
So people in such economies, like good example would be Latin American, I think Argentina, Brazil. So immediately, whenever they get a salary, they convert it to the stable coins because this is safer. They at least trust that US dollar
Yes.
is more stronger than their currency.
And don't
So
forget about Africa as well.
exactly. So Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, they're already using these tools. So yes, definitely, we believe that what we're building in WeFi would help people from those hyperinflationary countries because we're already aiming to address the issues that they're facing on a daily life and offer services that would enable them to enjoy more closely to the banking services resembled, I think. So quite often in these countries, what is important is to preserve the value of your money.
Yes.
Also, remittances is super important. A lot of people are traveling abroad and sending money, and I was surprised how expensive the remittances are. Not talking about banking, when you transfer and you can send the money to the void, they will just say, oh, we're unclear what's happening to your transaction, and then you have to do all kinds of documentation to unblock it.
And the fees, but you still have to pay the fee first. We
Yes,
don't know where
yes.
your money is, maybe, but you're going to pay the fee nevertheless. Okay, so you talked about a community, and then you listened to what the community said, and then you built from there. But do you think there is a big gap in the education that you have to close still for WeFi to be a success? Or is it just a sort of we're building on what is already there?
I think there's definitely a large education gap in terms of what is Web3 and why, let's say, self-custody, why it matters. But for digital and for mobile banking experience and using modern tools to make payments, I think that our user base is already very much technologically savvy, especially in Asia. They all use QR codes, they all use mobile digital wallets, and much more savvy than in Europe. These things are starting up. In Europe, you can only pay with card. Cash is not favorable anymore, etc. So I would say in Asia they're much more advanced in terms of this new type of payments. But to educate about Web3, self-custody, what is happening on blockchain, there's still a need. I think obviously eventually there will be no need to explain anything because user will see the front. That's it. This is what they use. But for now, when we're talking about what is self-custody wallet, of course you have to understand the person. How does it work? For many, this is completely a new term. So yeah, I think education is important. I think for all of us, education is important, for me and you, because it's changing so fast, everything, that you don't know many of the new tools that would make our life easier, right? And
Yeah,
we're still
next week
stuck.
it could be totally different.
Exactly. So I'm
So,
sure many tricks.
using a bit of a crystal ball, how do you think the future, or how do you see the future of banking play out? Do you think we'll even be using the word bank in the next 5 years, or will it be something completely different?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. And bank, I was wondering myself, what does it mean, bank? Where does the money come from? From what is does it mean to bank something? So actually, some time ago, I made a research and it was calling it comes from Italian word banco, right? When it means a table or a bench, and people would exchange some goods and values, conduct businesses with merchants on top of this table. So clearly, we don't have
Stable
tables
coin.
that we can with. We don't even have banking like this Windows. Many banks, they only deal with you online. So I think that the term will not disappear in the next 5 years, because for people it's still easy to understand what is a bank, what is what you can do. But overall, the financial services offering will expand. With open banking, with embedded finance, corporates can very well use payment technologies and even issue cards. A corporate can issue cards by itself, right? So the financial services landscape will change, but I don't think the word will disappear completely. But perhaps it will change the meaning of what the bank does. Yeah.
Absolutely spot on. Thank you so much for joining me today. If the listeners want to go and connect with you and find out more about WeFi, where can they connect with you guys?
So you can follow me on Twitter, Agne Crypto. Then I'm on LinkedIn as Agne Linge as well. And from there, you can also find the WeFi socials. And you can follow WeFi on Telegram, on the X as well. So you can be excited, join our exciting journey.
And we'll put all the links in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today. And to all listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. And we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Clockwork trips in April on the sideways tune. Alphabets of waterfalls slipping on my tongue. I tried to say your name, but it melted in the sun. Words are dancing, elbows clapping. Floor is sky and time is napping. Heartbeat flickers, fall quick rattle. Lost the map inside the battle. Tell the mirror I'm not me, spinning in the celery. Radio face whisper, 27 clouds. Staple dreams of ceiling tiles, blinking much too loud. My fingers spell spaghetti, but my throat reads no. Please decode the lavender before the sirens grow. Syntax slips on marbles, memory a kite. I tried to call for help, but the colors weren't right. Eyes are closed, the world's still blinking. Sink is floating, floor is sinking. Tongue in knots, the wires shatter. Brain is soup, but what's the matter? Signals jammed or I'm too free. Running down an apple tree. Hello, yes, no, carry the 9. Wednesday smells like thunderline. Where did I leave the... Wait, did I leave? Voices blur, the glass is humming. Words are gone, the noise is coming. Hold the sky, or was it me? Everything is celery. Radio fill. Ooh. Radio fill, dated in the celery. Rating on the celery. Video face whisper, 27 clouds. Staple dreams of ceiling tiles, blinking much too loud. My fingers spell spaghetti, but my throat reads no. Please decode the lavender before the sirens grow. Hello, yes, no, carry the 9. Wednesday smells like thunderwine. Where did I leave the... Wait, did I leave? Voices blur, the glass is humming.